Late author Maya Angelou has this great quote, which is, "When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time." Well, I love this quote and I love the intention behind it, which is to inspire people to set healthier boundaries and cutoffs when necessary. In our avoidant culture right now, and with our terrible conflict resolution skills, I think we need to rethink this quote. And what I will oftentimes tell people is, when someone shows you where they are, believe them. I'm going to talk about the where in just a minute and give you a quick acting formula for you to start to rethink level of investments in relationship and boundary setting in relationship. I call the wheres your subjective truths. And the subjective truth of someone else's behavior or where someone else is, it really has less to do with who they are as a person and more with what they're showing up with, which is really valuable and important information and cannot be disqualified, right? But the reason I like the saying, when someone shows you where they are, believe them, is because where they are, the information that I'm about to give you, this is information that we gather over time. It's not from making a snapshot judgment of someone's behavior the first time we meet them. And that's why I feel like this can be a helpful formula for our present day. So the where that I'm referring to, those subjective truths, fall under three categories. So the first is, where is someone in relationship to your values? The second is, where is someone in relationship to fulfilling your needs in relationship and living the life that you would like to live in relationship? The third is, where is someone with regards to fulfilling their potential? In essence, does this person have a growth mindset, and are they taking actionable steps to realize the best version of themselves? Our subjective truths answer the question where. Our protective truths answer the question why. Why haven't I done anything about this relationship? Or why do I continue to invest in relationships that maybe aren't the best for me? The whys fall into three categories also. The first main category is history, and that could be shared history. It could also be individual history. For example, you may be less inclined to set healthy boundaries with someone that you know has had a really tough go at this life, right? That could be a personal history. It could also be a shared history, like we've gotten through a lot together, or, this person was there for me through X, Y, or Z, right? So that's history. And that becomes a protective truth or a justification for not setting clear boundaries or changing investments in relationship. The second is someone's potential. So I've heard this a lot in session in my personal life. When we see glimmers of someone's highest self, their best self, the objective truth, you might say, of who they are on a core level, we tend to attach to it rather easily and dismiss some of the subjective truths. So that would be the second reason. The third reason has to do with our connection or our feelings about someone. So you could say you have a great connection with someone, or there's great chemistry, and that might be a reason why you would prioritize your protective truths over the subjective truths. But here's what happens when we do that. When we allow our protective truths to really lead the way when it comes to setting boundaries or investments in our relationships, we make ourselves really vulnerable to either be betrayed or to betray ourselves. I'm going to give you an example of what that looks like. Let's say you really value direct communication and honesty. Your friend does not, but you've known them for years, and so you've invested heavily in this relationship, and they've kind of come to see you as their ride or die. They went out last night and didn't come home. They're asking you to co-sign their story with their significant other. This would be an example where you would be in a position to potentially compromise one of your values and betray yourself. This next example is simple enough to understand. Let's say you value confidentiality. Someone you love does not. You share something with them, something vulnerable, and then you find out several days later that several of your friends know about it. This would be an example of when you are betrayed based off of your level of investment in someone. So here's the takeaway, and here's the formula. Be mindful of your protective truths. Allow your subjective truths to be the directive truths when it comes to setting boundaries with people and measuring your level of investment in your relationships. I hope this was helpful. Please leave comments below.